Hi everyone. Welcome back to the You Good Homie podcast. This is episode 5. We actually had a special guest on today's episode. His name is Jaydon. He's one of our friends from high school. And him, Ronald, and I, we just talked about the ins and outs of owning a dog and responsibility of owning a pet, the time and money sinks that they truly are, and how fun they are as well. But so yeah, if you're thinking of getting a pet or already have one, hope you learn a lot of things from this or relate to our experiences. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Another huge shout out goes out to one of our content creator friends, JayR, JayR the PT Gamer on Twitch. He's doing a birthday charity stream next Friday, Friday, September 24th. And all the proceeds are going to go to fund Texas Choice. Link to that will also be in the description or on the screen. He'll be featured in one of the future episodes coming up here soon. So yeah, make sure you guys check out his charity stream. Show some support to the homie. Make sure you guys. I'm gonna put you down because you're homie. Make sure you guys follow our Instagram at ugh.podcast to be featured in the next episode. Yeah, we really appreciate your input, and I think starting from this episode, we actually started to flash up your guys' answers on the screen. So really want to make it an interactive experience. So follow our Instagram and answer the question for the next episode. All right. With that, I'll leave you guys to it. Enjoy the podcast and see you guys next time. Thank you.
What the dog doing?
Hey yo, welcome back to You Good Homie podcast, episode 5. What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about
pet ownership. Bosco, come here.
But first, we got a special guest, Jaydon. Jaydon's our good friend. We went to high school with him. Jaydon, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, my name's Jaydon, and for pet ownership, I recently got a Labradoodle puppy.
Hey.
We'll flash a picture up on the screen. Super
I've been,
cute.
right
Super
here.
huge.
I've been part of the fatherhood for
The fatherhood.
6 months now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
How about you, Ronald?
Oh.
Where's Brownie, bro? Bring him down here, man.
Oh my god, man.
While he's doing that, let me introduce
Okay.
my pet. Bosco, come here.
They're actually gonna start fighting for no reason, though. We have to edit this.
We have to edit this up. So, hello everyone. This is my dog, Bosco. Say hi. He is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. Oh my god! Jeez. Okay, buddy. He's 3 months old, and he is an asshole, as you can see. But he's lots of fun, and he's super cute. And he's about to fight Brownie.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
We're
alright,
getting ready.
He's going crazy.
bro.
Okay, Ronald, introduce Brownie.
Alright, guys. This is my fur baby, or fur man. This little chill, calm dude. Not as zoomy as that guy. This Brownie, he's like, oh shit. He's like 10, 13 years old. And he's frenemies with Bosco. So yeah, I've had him for a while. This guy gets really uncomfortable around
Yeah,
Bosco
it's
sometimes.
actually a fight club.
Yeah, see.
Okay, let's
Alright,
break it up.
alright.
We're cutting this
Alright,
out.
Brownie. Time to go back upstairs. I don't know what you're looking for. I mean, I don't have.
All right, now that Brownie is upstairs, we can start the episode.
Hey.
So today we are talking about pet ownership. I think a pattern we've all noticed is over COVID, there's been a lot of COVID pets.
Yeah.
COVID dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Shut up.
No, go.
COVID dogs, COVID like any types of pets, and a lot of people have had to give them up. So it's kind of like a good topic to talk about. Like, what are the ins and outs of pet ownership? What are the truths? Some
Yeah.
stuff that we've been told. So the first question is actually one that we asked on Instagram. What is one biggest misconception or myth that you've heard about owning a pet? And we'll flash up some of your guys' responses on the screen. But I guess like we can talk about our own answers. Ronald, if you want to go first.
I can go first. I think one of the biggest myths / misconceptions is that like say you get your pet
Yeah.
from like a family member for free,
Yeah.
or say you got the dog super cheaply.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, pets aren't cheap. Like they really aren't. I think a lot of people go in and it's like, oh, I got this dog for like $250, and like they're not that expensive, but you're not keeping into account like registering the dog with the city. Shots and vaccinations are expensive as hell. Pet insurance, especially when they're puppies, anything that goes wrong with them is super expensive. Even with insurance, it's still like a lot of money. Paying for their food, getting them toys, like getting them a crate. If you need to do like puppy training, because like I know there's like bigger dogs who like need actual training. What are you doing? Who need like actual training. It's just a lot of things.
Neutering too.
Neutering, spaying and neutering.
Yeah, spaying and neutering. Like what else is like money sinks? Like just dog food in general.
Dog food.
Really expensive.
They, especially when they're puppies, they eat a lot.
Yeah.
So I bought this big bag of dog food that I thought would last me a year.
Yeah.
I think this guy's I've only had him for 1 month and he's almost done the bag, right? So it's just like, you don't realize like a lot of people just think, what you pay the breeder is it, like when you get a puppy. And just full disclaimer, like we are all dog owners, so this episode is gonna be dog biased, but a lot of the stuff we talk about can be applied to other pets as well. So anyways, like for dogs, when you get a puppy, right, a lot of people think that, oh, like I just pay like $2,000, $3,000 to the breeder and that's it, right? But it's actually so much more than that. Like that initial payment that you're putting down, or like you're paying over months to take care of the dog. So
there's a lot of hidden costs too. Like when I got a Rufus, like our yard wasn't fully fenced off, and so we had to get like a gate and stuff, and paying for all that stuff too, to like puppy proof your house and doing all that stuff.
Oh yeah, puppy proofing is expensive as hell, dude.
And also like damages too if they chew up something.
Exactly. Especially if you live in an apartment or a condo. That's also one thing that I had to keep in mind, because our family lives in a townhouse that's kind of managed by a condo board. And most condo boards actually, in their policies, they don't allow pets unless you ask. So if you do live in an apartment, if you're thinking of getting a pet, you should ask permission first, or you risk like getting in trouble.
Huge fine.
Paying a huge fine. So
when we were building this house, or when we were building our old house, when we ran out our old house, like puppy proofing it was like so expensive, or just replacing things. Like he would have a lot of, like Brownie, when he was a baby, he would have a lot of accidents on like around the baseboarding. And it's just like sometimes it's like sometimes people just don't catch it and they don't clean it up every time. So it's like when we were re-renovating our house again, it was just like replacing all the baseboards and replacing like the flooring where it's like just covered in pee and stuff. It's just like it's just like just the craziest. So I think just puppies in general are expensive. When they get older, they're not as expensive, but they're still pretty expensive. Like I still have to pay for a lot of like the dental care that Brownie needs, and like a lot
his
of
breath stinks. Brownie's breath stinks.
Actual ass. No matter how hard we try to take care of it, it's disgusting. But like, and paying for his food. Like paying, especially when they get older, it like almost goes full circle, because like they start to get problems again when they're older. So it's just like paying for those, and it's just like even with insurance, like they're not necessarily pre-existing conditions, but they're just expensive. Like the surgery's expensive, like other stuff and all that stuff. So
What about you, Jaydon? What's the biggest misconception you've heard about owning a pet?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that I had when I first got Rufus was like the training aspect. Because like on like YouTube and stuff like that, they show you a video of like this dog going crazy on the leash, and then by the end of like 5 minutes, they're good to go. And it's like, this is gonna be easy.
It's gonna be easy.
It's gonna breeze.
And then, oh my God, taking it out, it just doesn't listen. You're like, this is watching the video again. Like,
where's the trick? Where's the trick?
What's going on here? So I think training was probably the biggest one. Like a lot of the small stuff, like financially, I think can take care of. Like if they chew something up, it's not too bad. But like the time sink with training, and that you have to be always on it. I think that's like probably the biggest one for me. Because I was thinking like, as long as I watch these videos, know ahead of time, I know what to do. But when it comes down to it, and it doesn't follow the instructions, then it's like, now we're off off the grid now.
Because the
Going
thing,
rogue now.
the thing with training is like you have to people have to understand that dogs don't understand our language, and they can only learn like so much words in their lifetime, right? So it's like you have to have a lot of patience. And with this guy, like Bosco, I had to have a lot of patience, bro, because this guy is a lot of work. But like with time, obviously they are puppies, like they're still young and still learning, so it requires a lot of time, a lot of patience to get them to do what you want. Like even basic commands like sit and stay. Oh, I shouldn't have not have said that word. Like I should have spelled it out because like then he hears it, right?
He hears it, yeah.
But yeah, so like basic commands like those take some time, take a lot of like positive reinforcement to teach and stuff like that. So
yeah, with like Brownie, like especially when we were even just trying to teach his name was like a lot of work.
Yeah, their name.
Like just teaching them their name, and like getting them to like sit, getting them to SIT or STAY, or like, like or even come is like a huge one too. Even like getting them to come at a whistle was like really really hard. Because like it was just like for us whistling was a lot easier just because it's like a lot louder and they come like you can't really shout his name from the field across and they'll hear it, so it's like whistling was a lot more effective. But even then, like Brownie's still 12 years old and sometimes he doesn't listen to all the commands, so it's just like
it's surprising like the context that you like teach dogs and how they learn. Like with Rufus, he learned sit like when I was like standing next to him, but if I was like 2 feet back, he wouldn't know what that means.
And
it's
wouldn't
like
know,
it's so specific that you have to like train him in all different like circumstances and different environments,
like inside, outside, like with a treat and without a treat. Because sometimes like I think what I learned with Bosco is, okay buddy, what I learned with Bosco is sometimes he's a little bit, he only does stuff for me if I have food in my hand. So I have to switch it up sometimes, like reward him with a toy or reward him with praise or pets, rather than always giving him treats or food, right? So just so he learns that like if he does a good thing, he's not always gonna get food, he's like gonna get some other reward, right? For me, the biggest misconception for me is that again, this is gonna be like kind of a dog-centered episode, but for me the biggest misconception is that all dogs are friendly, which they're not. No. That behavior has to be trained into them. Like they have to socialize with people and other dogs in different situations as well. I know a friend, I won't dox her name, but I know a friend who recently met a dog who wasn't socialized properly with people. And like she was giving him a treat, right? And the dog was normal, right? The dog was normal, like it took the treat, and then she went to get him another treat, and then the dog just came up, right? And then bit her on the nose. And bit her on the hand. So it required stitches. That's right? Crazy. So in that sense, like you don't really know, right? Like the dog doesn't show aggression. And it just goes like that because it doesn't know how to act around other humans. It doesn't know how to act when it's like getting food and stuff like that. So you need to train that behavior by socializing with people. And then like if you see your dog like being aggressive or being rough around other people, then you have to take control of that situation. Because it could be dangerous for your dog, it could be dangerous for the other person, and then it could just like lead to other problems, like you get sued, you could get your dog euthanized and stuff like that, right? So
it's like a whole thing.
I don't know if you guys have anything else to add on that.
Brownie, like you saw Brownie earlier. He's like a generally friendly dog, like especially with humans he's not too like crazy, but like the thing is like with other dogs sometimes it's either he'll be very like old manish and crabby, or he'll like especially with Bosco, he's very old manish and crabby, so he'll be almost aggressive, but like not like he won't bite them, which is like something we've trained in him not to bite, but or he'll be like super like he'll be super horny,
super down
bad. He'll like try to like hump every single dog he sees, doesn't matter if it's guy or girl. So it's one or the other. He'll either be super standoffish and super crabby, or he'll be super like way too friendly.
Yeah, way too friendly.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know, bro.
Okay, so the next question is number 2. Okay, so I think we've all had our dogs since they were puppies, right?
Yes.
So what was like the biggest challenge for you guys in raising a young puppy?
I think I'll go last because I want to hear your guys's. Because you guys just
Jaydon, go
recently got a
first.
puppy. And it's been like 10 years. It's been like 8 years since Brandon was a puppy. So it's like, yeah.
For me, like when I got Rufus, so like the people who know my dog, and I guess you guys seen pictures, he's huge.
He's huge.
And like he got big really, really quick. And I don't think he realized how big he is.
Yeah.
So like the hardest thing about raising him was having him like calm down and not like jump up on people.
Yeah.
Because it's such a common thing with like puppies,
With
right?
puppies,
And he's still only 6 months old, but he's like 50 pounds. He's like up to my chin.
He's huge.
Damn,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So when he
He's
jumps up
huge.
and like puts his like paws on you, and it's so heavy, and he gets so excited with people.
Yeah.
Like when I had my friends over, I had them like downstairs, and then I was holding Rufus back, and then he evaded my grip, and he just bolted down the stairs straight on like the couch. He went on like Justin's like ribs, and
man.
hear like the groans. So that's probably the biggest thing, especially like with the guys. I'm not too concerned because like they can take it.
They can take it, yeah.
But like when we have like family over and stuff, and they have like little kids and stuff
Yeah,
like
little
that, then
kids.
it's like
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Yeah, it's
Like
kind of scary.
toddlers
Yeah.
or babies, yeah.
Because Rufus can easily overwhelm like a little kid, especially when he grows up. Like he's gonna be what, 90 pounds?
Probably around
Yeah.
90 pounds.
Like I saw Rufus yesterday, and then I felt his paw on my foot, and I was like, that's a human's foot. That feels like a human's foot. But yeah, for me, I think we touched on it before, is just how expensive they are. So I have a couple stories about Mr. Bosco here. So I guess the first one, the first trip to the vet, luckily it was free. Because I think for VCA, what is it called? They do your first exam free and stuff like that. But the second one, there was one kind of weekend where this guy had blood in his poop. So I got scared, and I took him to like one of those like 24-hour emergency vet hospitals. And since blood in poop is not normal, like they tested for parvovirus. Because he's not fully vaccinated against parvo yet, and also for parasites, and they also gave him an antibiotic to help with the bleeding, right? So all of that plus the exam came out to $300. And the thing is, like, that's technically considered an emergency, right? So that would be covered under pet insurance. The thing is, like, Bosco, I just got Bosco, and we were still under. Ambitious as hell. Oh my God.
Bro.
We were still under like the waiting period, so like there's a 15-day waiting period where any claims you can't submit, so that fell under that. So that was out of pocket. And then the next vet visit was a vaccination, so pet insurance doesn't cover like routine checkups like vaccines, spaying, neutering, like regular checkups, stuff like that. So like the vaccination and the deworming and the exam this time came out to around $200. So immediately that's around $500 for this guy that is not covered by insurance. So yeah, I think that was like the biggest challenge. And on top of that, like buying all this guy's toys, and his like supplies and stuff like that is like a really big commitment. So if you're if you're thinking of getting a pet, really think about your financial situation. Shout out to our last episode 4 about financial health. Really think about your financial situation before you get a pet, any kind of pet, because they are money sinks. Even as fun as they are money sinks, and they cost a lot of money. One advice I can give is Facebook Marketplace was a lifesaver for me, because that's where I got his crate. A lot of his toys, like this snuffle mat that he's going off on right now, I actually got from Facebook Marketplace. You can find a lot of stuff there that's being used by other dogs that they just grew out of, so it's not broken or anything, for a lot cheaper. Like his crate was like at least $30 cheaper on Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, the next question.
Oh wait, I'll go.
Oh, sorry, bro,
No,
I
it's
forgot
all
about
good.
this guy.
No, it's all good. I think the biggest challenge in raising a young pet was like getting over like the puppy blues. Do you guys know what like that term is?
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like that. So there's a similar term with like kids where it's like these guys are so much of a time sink, money sink, and energy sink that you're just like, man, you're like wishing like, man, I wish I didn't have this puppy, or I wish I didn't have like, I wish like he wasn't here or stuff like that, and kind of dealing with those kind of like feelings about your like dog. And like, don't get me wrong, I like loved Brownie when he was a kid, but like, man, this like he was just as much as a demon as like Rufus was, and like and how Bosco is right now. It's just, I was just like, some nights I'm just like, man, I wish he would stop crying in your crate, especially when I was crate training him, man. He would just cry constantly, and it was just like, oh brother, man, this guy stinks, man.
Hey, this guy stinks.
Yeah, I was just, and like and potty training him and like getting him to learn commands. It was just, it's very like being a dog owner for a young pet, or just being a pet owner for like a young pet is so frustratingly hard. Like it's a big like mental game, because you're just like, your patience is tested every day. You're like, man, is this dog gonna get on my nerves again today, or is he gonna actually behave? And that's just kind of how the game goes, you know. Sometimes they'll piss you off, sometimes they'll be like the source of happiness, but it's just, for me, especially when they're younger, is like getting over the puppy blues. Like, man, like, do I really want this dog? Do I really want to take care of this dog?
It's like raising a kid, right? Like,
literally, yeah.
It's like raising a kid. Like, they're, once you get the dog, they're part of your family. It's not just like you can get rid of the dog, right? I mean, you can, but like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, if you really can't take care of it, then yes. But you made a commitment, to get a dog, so you should follow through with it.
I think if I had to tie back like Ronald's answer to like the stuff we were talking about before about like misconceptions. Yeah. I think like one of the conceptions I had was like me and my dog were gonna have this like instant bond.
Yeah.
And like be homies right away.
Yeah.
But like no,
no,
it was
man.
so hard right away
because
they're so crazy and they like haven't like adjusted to anything yet. And it's just like, it's literally like living with like just a pure animal.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's not a pet, it's an animal. And I think just over time, like, I think like especially with training, I think that helped a lot with like building the bond and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say it took like for me, probably took like maybe like 1 or 2 months for me to like totally get over the puppy blues. Especially seeing like how big this guy was getting, I was like, oh shit.
Holy
shit. It's like fuck.
He's gonna overpower me.
I think like going back to that, like it was a good thing that you mentioned bonds, because for the longest time, Brownie used to only hang out with 2 people in my house, and it was me and my mom. He hated everyone else because my dad was like the disciplinary figure for my dog for the most part. My mom was the one who coddled him the most time. So like she was the one who always fed him food and like fed him treats and all that. And obviously I was taking care of him a lot too. Yeah. But yeah, he used to like hate the rest of my family. Like it took him a while to like really come around in the beginning, because like you said, they're like animals. They don't create like they don't bond to you right away. And it's like, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take positive reinforcement / negative reinforcement and just experience in general for them to really warm up to you.
And you're literally taking them away from their like family, right? When you first get them, like the only thing they've known is their mom and their litter and maybe the breeder, but most of the time they're spending their days with their mother and their litter mates, right? And like once you take them away, that's kind of like a huge moment in their life. And those kind of like first impressions that your dog has of you is super important, because that kind of decides like, are they gonna listen to you? Are they gonna obey you? Are they gonna respect you? And yeah, I think that's super important.
Yeah, I think like especially with crate training, like because it was so hard because Rufus kept crying, but then like based on what you said, like him in the crate, that's the first time he's been alone ever in his whole life, and he doesn't know the surroundings or like who I am and stuff like that. So I guess it's a give and take. Like I remember when I first got Rufus, like I was pretty like sleep deprived, as I'm sure you guys were when you guys got your dogs. But yeah, I was reading like somewhere, and it's like if you think about from their perspective too, like your dog's probably sleep deprived as well, trying to like adjust to a new home and everything.
Like from all the anxiety and stress of just being in a new environment in general,
like the demand like the dog has on you is like 10 times more that you put on the dog to like adjust to you and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question. What is the quirkiest / funniest thing that your pet does, that your dog does? I guess I can start because this guy's here. Like the funniest thing that he does is this guy sleeps like this guy sleeps so funny. I'll flash up a picture on the screen right now where he sleeps legit like a human, where he's like his head is on his like stuffed toy and then he's like sprawled out like this. And it's so funny because you expect dogs to like kind of like sleep like this or like with their paws down, right? But this guy just sleeps in any which way position, whatever he feels comfortable. And like the other thing that I find super funny is the traditional corgi sploot. So he usually does his like sploot like this and his legs like that. But sometimes, most of the time, he does like this stupid 90-degree sploot where his like leg is his leg is like this and his other leg is like this, and then he just be chilling there. It's so funny. But yeah, this guy is another thing that he does, which is like a pain at the same time funny, is sometimes in his water bowl, so he would drink like a couple gulps of water, and then when he gets bored, he like blow bubbles in it. He's like he'd blow bubbles with his nose, and then he like starts pawing the water bowl, and it like flips over, and then I have to clean it up. and then he like flips it over. He flips over the water bowl, right? And then he barks at the water bowl because he can't flip it back over. And yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just funny seeing that, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck, I have to clean this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a lot of fun. Love spending time with him and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was gonna say for like blowing bubbles, that was mine with Rufus when he first found out that he could blow bubbles. Like, holy,
yeah, I know. He
Yeah.
went
non-stop
You're
doing
just
it.
like,
I think like another one is when he first learned like paw, right?
yeah.
So paw, I didn't teach him that. It was my mom.
Yeah.
And then so my mom was so happy that she finally like taught him something. And then so she kept doing it to him, and he kept getting like more and more treats. And parents go heavy with the treats.
Oh yeah, they go heavy, bro.
oh yeah, no, parents
So-
go so heavy with the treats, man.
Yeah. And then so now whenever Rufus is like trying to do something and he's like trying to get like cooperation, he always gives paw. Like like when like if he's like running and like asking him to stop, he's like just paw. He's
Paw.
giving it out. He always tries that. He's like he's like down. Okay. You sure? Yeah, this is probably mine, giving paw for like no reason, and then like the
I
bubble
think
stuff.
one thing I want to touch on is like the parents with the treats.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Like when I'm sure like this situation is like relevant to a lot of people, but when you ask your parents like, "Oh, can we get a pet?" and they're like, "No, we can't get a pet. No, we can't get a pet." But then they're the ones that end up like spoiling the dog. Like for example, my parents want to give this guy like human food all the time, like like table scraps and stuff, because he's always like sitting there just like looking cute, right? And I was like, no, we can't give him human food. Like we don't know what ingredients are in the food, and we don't know if it's gonna be like poisonous to him, right? So yeah, I find that super funny how it's the parents that actually like end up spoiling the dog.
Yeah, no, my dad was like, he was just like, we're never gonna get another dog, because we used to have a dog before Brownie, and it was a huge dog, and like we were like kids, so we didn't really know how to take care of him. And then when that dog passed away, my dad was like, no, we're never getting another pet ever again. And then when we ended up getting Brownie from a relative, my dad and my mom are by far the people who take care of Brownie the most. Like next to like me and my siblings, like they're just like, they're always feeding him, they're always giving him treats, they're always giving him human food all the time. They're like, they like take him out for walks more than we do. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, like the parents are like, at first they're the hardest, like, no, we don't want a pet. But then like after, they're like, oh my god, I love this dog the most.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's so true. Like with Rufus, so I told my parents that I was getting a dog, and I guess I sort of worded like, we are getting a dog. I'm getting a dog. I'll give you like 2 months to like mentally prepare yourself.
It's happening.
It's happening. I put the payment in.
Yeah, exactly me too.
Happening.
Exactly me too.
And they weren't against it, but they like weren't thrilled about it. They're like,
They're like, not another dog.
But it's so funny, like, cause they love Rufus and they like play with him all the time. And then when we first got him, when he was just like a little puppy, after the first couple of weeks, it's so funny. It's kind of wholesome. Like my dad would be at work, and then he'd call like the house, and he'd be like, put Rufus on the phone. And then my mom would like take the phone and put next to Rufus's ear, and then my dad would be like talking like hello, and then Rufus just be like shaking his head back and forth.
That's so cute.
He's watching like, oh my god, yeah, these are the same people who didn't want a dog in this.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. How about you, Ronald? Quirkiest, funniest thing that Brownie does?
Quirkiest, funniest thing? I think Brownie does a couple things that you probably know.
Yeah.
But Brownie's a super big, like he's just, he vies for attention a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, when he first meets you, he'll want you to pet him. Like, and so, like, you know, you do with every friendly dog. You pet him on the head and scratch him on the head. But, dude, this guy will not want you to stop petting him. So, once you stop petting him, he'll sit beside you. And then he'll put his paw in your hand first. And then he'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then he'll do it again. He'll put your paw on you. If you don't, he'll start scratching you.
This guy starts scratching.
And it'll be 3 scratches every time. 1, 2, 3. And then he'll stop. And you'll be like, what the fuck? And then so you go back to whatever you're doing, like watching TV or like playing video games. And then again, 1, 2, 3. And then you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, another quirky thing that my parents actually got Brownie into the habit of doing was my parents love to pet Brownie with their feet. So whenever Brownie comes around, he'll just post up by your feet. He'll just lay on your feet, waiting for you to like pet him with your foot. And I'm just like, all right, yes, sure. I guess like another quirky thing that Brownie does is like he tries to hump every single dog he sees, but that's just like,
and human people too.
Yeah. No, I think it's more on the basis of like shock value, because you'll like sit there and whenever he meets a new dog, you'll sit there and you'll be like, is he gonna hump him or is he gonna be crabby? And you just like wait, and then you're just like, okay, well, he's a humper.
I have a story. The first time Brownie met Bosco, right? So it was me, you, and our friend Eric, right?
Yeah.
So we were just chilling at the door, right? And then it was Bosco and Brownie. They were just like sniffing each other, how dogs like kind of greet each other. And then like it was so funny because they weren't even barking at each other or anything. Like Brownie just like sneaks up behind Bosco and then starts mounting him like this, and you're like, no, stop. Yeah, it was so funny. And now they're frenemies.
Yeah, now they're frenemies, and now they hate each other. But yeah.
Next question, kind of the flip side of that. What is the most annoying thing that your dog does? I guess Ronald, we can start with you because we started with you last time.
The most annoying thing that Brownie does is that I used to actually really, really hate is that whenever no one, unless it's a family member, no matter who comes to the door, he'll bark at you. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's not even an aggressive bark. He'll just bark to be annoying. Like we tell him stop barking, and every time he'll just be like, "Rah!" And he'll just, why are you barking? Like, we told you not to bark when people come in. And that's just like the most annoying thing. Also, another annoying thing is like just when he breathes.
Because he stinks
so bad. This dude loves to like, and I guess it's also our fault because we didn't really like train him not to eat grass or like eat stuff outside. But this dude has a stomach of steel and will just eat everything outside, and so his breath will always smell like shit. He'll just always smell like garbage because like he'll roll around in the dirt and stuff, even though he's like 42 million years old. And it's just like, bro, I can't keep giving you showers like literally every other day because you smell so bad. Right. And like I can't like, and it's like, yes, I'll brush your teeth every now and then, but it's just like, bruh, even if I brush your teeth, your breath smells so bad, dude. I'm just like, man, ugh. I also really hate the smell of dog food, so it's just like, I'm just like, ugh. Just
especially if it's like wet dog food.
Yeah, that one's brutal. Yeah.
How about you, Jaden?
Jaden?
I'd say for me, it's I was talking to Vince about this. It's when we go for walks, he has a tendency to like pick stuff up in his mouth. So usually when we go for a walk, like I always have to like fight to like get things out of his mouth. And the stuff he picks up is the most nasty shit. Like he like beelines it. Like he like one thing he always goes for is like those used face masks.
Oh yeah.
Cigarette butts.
Yeah.
And then like these like used tissues, which is like Like, why are they used tissues? Right? There's
Why
nothing
are
good.
they
on the
There's
ground?
nothing good
on the ground,
in their
bro?
tissue, right?
Yeah.
Sus.
So then like digging that out, and then oh my god, and then there's like on like the lawns, like when people like, I don't know what these are for. I think they're for like mapping like the gas lines. They like put
like
those flags.
the flags.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rufus like picks them up and walks with them. Like, oh no, I take it out. Then I'm like, well, what the hell do I do with this? And it's like, I just put it. I don't know.
Just put it back.
I don't know. If that's I'm just kidding.
Yeah. For Bosco, I think this is like common for corgis. This guy loves to bite. This guy loves to play bite. And like whenever you pick him up, it depends like on his mood. If he's like hyper, then he'll bite a lot. Like it's not like an aggressive bite. It's more like play. It's not like really hard. It's just his puppy teeth are like so sharp. And like how kind of deal with that is like redirect his attention to another thing, like maybe a toy, or if he keeps doing it, like just not give him attention. Like leave the room and make him realize like if you're play biting too hard, like no one wants to play with you or give you attention, right? With corgis as well, because they're herding dogs, what he really likes to do is chase us around the house and like nip at our feet, because like corgis are herding dogs, so their main purpose like in the past was to herd cattle and livestock and stuff like that, right? So how they achieve that was they nip at the livestock's feet to get them to go where they want to go. So he doesn't know any better, right? That's the instinct. So that's what he does to us, and it's super annoying because when he nips our feet, it like hurts. And then we try to pick him up, and then he runs away. And because he's so short, like we can't like get him right away, right? So I don't know, it's just super annoying. Like I know, like with my grandma, she spoils him a lot because she gives him like the slipper, and I'm like, don't do that because he's gonna get used to like you giving him the slipper, or think it's okay that for him to bite feet and for him to get a reward, right?
Yeah,
so it's just super hard with corgi, but and also like this guy's also a bully.
Yeah.
Not only to dogs but also to people. Like if you're not confident, this goes for corgis, for all corgis. If you're not like a confident trainer, then they'll assert their dominance over you, right? They'll be spoiled, and you'll force to give them everything they want because, like, for example, they're barking or they're crying, and then you just give in. Like, it's a constant struggle with this guy to not give him what he wants all the time.
Bosco has like real alpha energy.
He has real
bro,
alpha energy.
Super alpha energy.
Especially,
Super alpha
like,
energy.
Comparing it to like my dog, who I think is like pretty like submissive, I guess. Comparing it to like your dog and like the other dogs that came over to visit.
Yeah.
Like I was just thinking like, man, if Rufus had that alpha energy.
Rufus.
Yeah.
Someone would have been seriously hurt, bro.
Yeah, I think Brownie has alpha energy. It's just Bosco's alpha energy just overpowers.
No, I
him
think
so
Brownie's
much.
also old.
Like,
He's
Brownie's super alpha, but it's just like when it comes to Bosco, he just like can't hang.
Yeah.
Another thing that we also discussed, like that, and you reminded me because Rufus always loves to grab stuff, is that Brownie loves to like go into the bathroom and just eat all the tissues, all the toilet
Bosco
paper.
also loves tissues.
Like,
it's so annoying.
I know it's super gross, but like tampons, he loves to grab onto tampons. It's so gross. I remember seeing a string coming out of his mouth, and I'm just like, he's like walking down the stairs like super nonchalantly, and I'm like, yo, what's that in his mouth? I don't want to grab that. And I'm like, I don't want to grab that, and he's just like, I'm like, but I gotta, because I don't want him to eat it. And then I pull on it because I think it's like low key. I think it's like probably just like a piece of like toilet paper, right? So I yank on it and a whole ass tampon comes out of his mouth, and I'm like, I almost screamed because it was so gross. I was like, oh my god, and I like literally threw that shit back in the bathroom. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And like I just yelled at my dog. I was like, you fucker, you're so gross.
Yeah, I mean. I guess an interesting thing, because like you babysat dog sat Bosco for like a couple of days. So what's something like, what's an annoying thing that Bosco
Oh man,
did to you guys.
I think the most annoying thing that Bosco did was that like he'll just like to go like wherever. Like he'll pee when he needs to pee, but when he needs to shit, he'll never shit when he wants to.
Exactly.
And it's like I remember one time, it was one day where we had let Bosco out during all the times we needed to. We made sure that he was like pooping properly, but this guy was just like loaded up that day, and he shat 3 times in the same day in my mom's room. And we were like, how did first of all, how did you get away from us to shit in my mom's room 3 times in 3 different spots? And I was just like, what the fuck? And also like, what's crazy, like this guy's super familiar with my house now because we babysat him, but what's like shitty about Bosco and Brownie is that they're like double trouble, because whatever Brownie will do, like when they're civil and they're not play fighting, what Brownie will do, like if it's mischievous or not, Bosco will do. So it's like if Brownie goes into the bathroom and like eats the toilet paper and like the tampons, Bosco will go to the other bathroom and eat all the toilet paper.
Partners in crime,
literally. Or it's like if Brownie is scratching on the door, like then Bosco will start scratching on the door. Or it's just like it's kind of like how like it's like little brother big brother, where the little brother is just like mirroring everything the big brother does. And it's like, yeah, it's tight to see. And like I love that Bosco like takes some stuff from Brownie, because Brownie somewhat is a well-trained dog, but it's just like it's also at the same time like they just have the shitter energy when they're both like there. It's just like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah, so, I have a story about Bosco. Actually, it happened yesterday with our friend's dog Bobo. So our friend, like, we were hanging out on his deck, right? And then he opened the door and accidentally let the dogs inside. And then this guy went straight for Bobo's bed, and took a shit in it, right? And then Bobo like stepped in it and then ran all over this guy's house, and we spent like the next half an hour on our knees wiping the crusty poop with Lysol wipes. And we had 2 other friends there who didn't have dogs, and we were like, this is how it's really like to have a dog. Literally. But yeah,
that reminds me of a story like for Rufus when he was like a little younger. He ate one of those like clips that you hang like Christmas lights on. He like swallowed it, and I was like, oh, like shit, this is like a big clip. We're gonna have to like take him somewhere. So we went to that same like 24-hour like vet clinic. And so they gave him this thing for him to like throw it up. And so he did, but there was only like half of the clip. Oh god. And so the other half was still in there, right? Oh shit. And he's like, well, that half isn't coming out this end. So it's gonna be the other one. So here's this like laxatives, and you mix it in with this food, and then he's gonna like poop it out. Oh man. And this was like at like maybe like 8:30, like on a Tuesday, right? Like I have work. I'm gonna be late today. And then that whole day, oh my god, every like 30 minutes he had to like go and like shit.
You have to like shit. Yeah.
That's the worst. Okay, do we have the next question? All right. Yeah, go ahead, Jaydon. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of curious. So both me and Vince sort of got our dogs like post lockdown, but you went through like before and after, right? I was wondering how much it changed, like with you guys being at home and stuff.
I think Brownie just was really receptive to it and loved that we spent more time with him, because I think even though he's an older dog, he still does feel loneliness. And I think like one of the things that we really struggled with, especially when he started to get older, was combating his like separation anxiety with us. Because when we got older and I started going back to uni, and my brother started going back to like school, and my sister was in like high school or elementary or whatever, and my parents were going to work, there'd be like pretty much a 6-hour period where Brownie just was alone at home and he really didn't have anyone. So I assume that was like pretty tough for him, and like I'm pretty sure that he probably just slept throughout the day for the most part. But as soon as we lockdown hit and we started staying home a lot more, I think he was a lot more receptive and he was a lot more happy, and he just seemed a lot more active than usual. Because before, we'd like come, like if someone was home, he'd just kind of be like tired and kind of drowsy during those like 6 hour period, because that's usually when he sleeps or is just like lazy, and then he turns it on. But now like when we were home constantly, he was just always like boom boom boom, and then he would like sleep a lot longer. But I think you can definitely see like the change in his mood and the change in his like just behavior when we were home a lot more, because he's like, oh, the people I love is like home a lot more, and they can like take care of me, and they're always like there to pay attention to me and stuff. So that was like, it was a good thing. It was a good thing for my dog for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the change. I didn't notice too much of a change just because Brownie is just docile in general.
Yeah.
Like he's just a very like lazy dog. He's not super active, so it's just like, yeah, he's just chilling half the time.
Yeah, I'd say with like lockdown, like I guess one of the silver linings that it made like taking like pet care a lot easier, because we're always at home.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, well, I guess I don't know about you, Vince, but for me, like the reason why I got Rufus at the time I did was like not only did I like finish university and like got a job, but it was like, okay, lockdown is gonna, I got like 8 months of lockdown where I can like bond with the dog and ready. And so I get him now. By the time I like head back to the office,
he's
it'll
gonna
be
be
smooth
good to go,
sailing. So yeah, that's how I got Rufus, and I think that's why a lot of other people got their dogs as well during this time. But yeah, I kept thinking about like going back to the office and how that's gonna work.
Yeah.
One of the things I guess we were talking about before, like the financial stuff and like how it like extends out. So right now for my work, it got announced that we can do like full-time work from home. Like it's fully flexible. So I was thinking, like, if I were to ever like switch jobs and stuff, I think I would need that to be like a requirement. Like staying at home now. Like that alone, as seems like the financial stuff, like cancels out a lot of like potential places to work at just to like take care of like your dog and stuff like that. I think that's one of like the decisions that like it isn't like right away. Like I think when you get a dog, you like calculate the cost of like the food and stuff like that. But I think it's like the lifestyle changes.
The lifestyle change.
I think that's what like makes the biggest difference.
I think that's a good point to lead into our last question, because the last question is advice to anyone who's looking to get a pet or just got one. And what I put down was to really think about like the type of life that you're living right now and the type of life that the pet you're getting, whether that be a dog or a cat or whatever, requires to raise, right? And you have to be willing to. Oh shoot!
It's okay. My sister's up there. My family's up there. That'll be fine.
Well, you have to be willing to compromise with the type of like the time that it requires to raise that pet, and you have to really think about, am I ready to give up a lot of my personal time? Am I ready to be tired at work because I haven't slept? Because of this this puppy or this young pet. And if like, for example, if you're thinking of getting a dog and all of the stuff that we've talked about right now like seems scary to you, maybe a dog is not the right pet for you.
Maybe a dog isn't a right pet.
Yeah, so like I don't know, because the time commitment and the work required to raise let's say a dog and to take care of like, I don't know, a fucking fish or something is a lot different, right? It's a lot different. So you have to really think about what kind of lifestyle changes you'll have to make to accommodate your pet in your life, because they are going to be part of your family for a long time. Dog's lifespan usually around 10-15 years. 10-15 years. So it's literally a lot of time in your life that you're going to have and take care of this dog. So really think about, is it going to fit now and also in the future? I guess that's like my biggest advice.
I think one of my biggest advice is, oh my
they're actually fight clubbed out there, bro.
But I think one of my biggest advices is to invest in like pet insurance. If you are thinking about getting a pet, invest in like pet insurance, invest in like registering your pet, and just generally knowing what your finances are looking like going forward, because again, it is a lifestyle change, and it's like, do I have enough money to really like afford this pet? And it's also like making sure that, and it's also, if you are like living with if you are living with your family or you are living with another person, it's also like a team effort. It's not, because Because what I was really thankful with Brownie, and even when we were babysitting Bosco, was that like everyone was fully invested in like taking care of this dog. So it's like if one person didn't take him out, then the other person would, or if another person forgot to feed him, then another person would. And I think it's always a blessing to live with another person and having a dog, because I think also being like just the sole owner of that pet and like just taking care of it solely is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, right? Like obviously, like as the main pet owners, like you Jaydon and you Vince, like you guys do a lot of the work, but it helps when your family helps out and like looks after the dog. So it's like don't, like, always when you are looking to get a pet, always discuss with your family if they are willing to like have them in the house, because having like an unwilling family to take care of a pet in a house is just like not a good recipe for success, because it's just like
it's worse than not having a pet.
Exactly. If they hate the dog, then it's just like
the dog's not gonna be happy.
What the hell am I supposed to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, if the dog feels like he's unwanted, stuff like that.
They realize when they don't when they're not loved.
100%. So just looking into that, and also remembering that just pets in general are a lot of work. I know like for like you guys were emphasizing that as a lot of work, and then me on the other side, I'm like, yeah, Brownie's super docile and stuff like that, and he's like he
but it wasn't always like
but it wasn't always like that. We had to train him to like eat when he wants to eat, or drink when he wants to drink, or let us know when he wants to go out, right? So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of training, and you guys got to remember, I've had my dog for like 10 years. So you got to take that into account. Like creating specific habits in dogs is it's tough, and it's a long road. It's definitely a long road, but it is fulfilling when you do kind of get it right.
Yeah, it's interesting because mine is sort of like the mix of like both of your guys is. So I know like bringing like a pet into like the family, like it really is like getting like accustomed to everyone in there. And then like with my parents, so for me, I do like majority of like the work walk him, like clean up after him, feed him, all that stuff. But like stuff that my parents do, like just like sitting with him in like the evenings and stuff, like that's a huge help, and I usually like load off my shoulders like if I'm like hanging out with my friends in the evening, it's nice to know that Rufus is just like chilling with my parents, and they're enjoying each other too. So that's a huge thing. I would say like for getting a dog, like really got to think about like whose dog, like who's gonna own the dog, who's gonna be like fully responsible for the dog. Because I know like some people who do like the surprise, we got a puppy thing. And then when it comes to like university and stuff, I'm like, oh well, I gotta move out.
Exactly.
Have fun. And then like for me, like I don't know how much it affected like your guys's like post and like after you get the dog of like your 5-year plan. But like one of the big things that like changed with me was like moving out. So my plan was like like post university, just to like move out and then just live in like an apartment or a townhouse, something like that. But then with Rufus, like since he's like my dog, I can't leave him with my parents.
Exactly.
So then it's like I have to think about the living situation, and it's like, okay, Rufus, he's like 50 pound.
He's gonna need
like,
his own yard.
Yeah. You definitely like wouldn't be happy in an apartment. Even with like a townhouse for him. I also had like a private yard or something. Probably still be bigger, and then it's like we get a house, and I'm looking at my bank account, I'm like, oh my god, I can't afford a house.
Exactly.
It's like, damn.
Like, so like think about all that stuff, like how it like fits into your life and like the bigger picture, and like how like it affects all these different aspects that you may not be able to consider. It's like you really have to think about the time you spend with the dog. I think like when you look at videos and when people like if you're like young and your parents tell you like the downsides of owning a dog, they usually talk about like cleaning it up and
it's all true
stuff.
It's true. It's true.
I think that part is the easiest part. The hard part is like the time commitment.
The time
like,
commitment.
That's like whenever you go out now, I have to think like, okay,
who's gonna
take care of
this person? Like who's gonna take care of this dog and all that stuff?
So there's like a couple times when like I just couldn't go. I just had to like stay home with Rufus and do all that stuff. So I'd say like you have to think about like years and years. Like we were saying, like if your dog lives like 15 years and you get the dog when you're like 20. You're gonna be like what 35 or something.
35, man.
Yeah, you're gonna go through a whole lot of changes, like all that stuff. Yeah. Exactly. So I guess think about the whole thing in general.
Yeah,
like
I know. A friend of mine whose cousin is in high school, and the dog that they got was a German Shepherd mixed with something. But yeah, it's a big dog.
Yeah,
and that's a lot of commitment. Like, she's obviously not always gonna be around, right? And my friend's kind of worried that, like, how are you gonna take care of this dog if you're in school, right? And I think that's the trap that a lot of people fall into, is they look at dogs on like social media, or they see dogs outside, like, oh my gosh, I want a dog, like, it's so cute. Like, the amount of time that went in to train that dog and to take care of the dog is not cute.
No,
it is a lot of work.
No, it's so much work.
They may look cute on the outside, like, shout out, shameless plug, at Loaf of Bosco. So you see all the pictures of Bosco, but like all of that kind of like is after all the work that I've put in.
It's like
and
surface level, dude.
My sister has put in, and my family has put in, to kind of train the dog. Like, a lot of days I would rather not wake up at 6:30 to let this guy out and do his business, but I'm just like, okay, well, I have to, because he's a living being, right? So you have to, like, take care of him. Obviously, it's your responsibility, it's your dog. So it really, I think that's a lot of the issues that come up. And the kind of sad thing is, like, with COVID, a lot of people got pets. Yeah. And then now that they're going back to their regular life, their dog doesn't fit in anymore. And a lot of these dogs that got adopted during COVID are now going to the pounds. Yeah. As COVID dogs, which is really sad. So before you get a dog, really think about your situation and if it fits, because it's super sad. For dogs, it's like a traumatic experience to have to, like, be taken away from your family, the people who've raised you, and then you're in this pound, right? And then, like, it's so unfamiliar. It's like other dogs that are unfamiliar to you. So yeah, really think about your situation. If a dog or any pet doesn't fit in your lifestyle right now, don't get it. Don't get it, because it's just a large time sink and money sink that will only bite you in the butt later on. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say like when I got Rufus, like, I was really thinking about, like, that time, like, only got this much time before I go back to the office. So that made me really like pulled the trigger, like, pretty quick. Yeah. But yeah, if I could, like, go back, like, I think I would have, like, waited, and then like I guess because at the time I wasn't so sure, like.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear. These guys are barking.
I can't stop. Okay, so small disclaimer. Brownie and Bosco are frenemies, so they love to, like, bark and, like, fight. And what doesn't help is that my dad is an instigator. So my dad will purposely put Bosco near Brownie so that they fight. And so it's I'm sorry. I just laugh, like, all the time when they fight.
Sorry, Jaydon. What were you saying?
Keep going, Jaydon.
What was I saying?
The time commitment and
yeah. I'd say, like, there's no rush. Like, I know there's always, like, a time when you think, now here's the time to, like, get a dog before things come in. But like, let's say my job didn't, like, extend, like, or it didn't allow me to work full time from home. Then it's like, I think for me it would have been better just to, like, wait and see, like, post COVID what was going on. Like, okay, if I do have to work 8 hours a day, maybe, like, I have to get the whole situation figured out first before I get a dog and that stuff. So, just, like, when you feel that, like, rush, it takes time. Like, it's like a tattoo, right? You don't get, like, a spur of the moment decision. No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. Get a fucking squid fighting a fish, bro.
Oh my yes, sir.
It's like, what does it mean? It's like, damn, I don't know.
I don't know.
I love sushi.
I got it. I love sushi. All right.
I think closing remarks too. I think like, I do agree with both of you guys. Like, it's a huge time sink. Pets are a huge time sink. Huge. Whether especially dogs in particular. I know it was a very, like, dog centric video, but that's the only pets we really own. Yeah. And, like, I can't say that it'll get easier when they get older, but
you just get more used to it.
You get more used to it, and it does get easier. Like, don't get me wrong, I experienced the same thing. Like, I was waking up at 6 a.m. to take Brownie out, and like I told you guys, like, the horror stories about, like, him crying in his crate, him shitting everywhere, him pissing everywhere, right? So it's just it's pets are a very big time sink, and at times they're going to be a very big inconvenience to your lifestyle. Like, if you want to go out, if you want to like do some, and it's like even like relationship partners, right? Like it's like if you end up dating someone and they're not into like dogs,
if they're allergic to dogs,
if they're allergic to dogs,
like,
you're fucked. Yeah, it's just
you either get rid of the relationship or you get rid of the dog. I know which one I would get rid of. Not the dog.
Not the dog. Bye.
And with that, we'll wrap up the episode there. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Jaydon, for
thank you, Jaydon.
for being
thank you guys for having me.
Episode. So make sure you guys, if you guys have pets, other than dogs, preferably, because we've been talking about a lot about dogs. Tell us about your experience, or that be in the comments or in our Instagram messages. Tell us about your experience about having a pet, whether you've had them since they were young or you just got them. Tell us about your experience. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Watch out for our next episode. I don't know what the topic will be anymore. I can't remember anymore. But so make sure you guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you in the next one. Again, thank you, Jaydon, for being a guest. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Hey.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Peace.
Peace. That's a wrap.
It's a wrap, baby.
Oh.
Let's see if it